Greetings and welcome to NasCanucks. I'm Ben, he's Doug, and we are talking paperclip racing. No, we're not racing paperclips. We're racing on the paperclip. Known previously as Martinsville, then Martin Truex Juniorville, and now, I don't know, back to HMS North? I don't know. Anyways, all three top series running in the evenings. So you said before we went live, I don't remember. Well, hell, for once, I was actually watching the races the night they happened. I was only watching them an hour or so delayed each night. So
yeah,
that truck race was last Thursday.
Yeah, I know. It's like last week, almost a full week ago. But again, this week, a lot of people complaining.
Oh, yeah.
But not for the right things.
Yep.
A lot of people complain that, it wasn't short track racing because there wasn't enough wrecks.
Maybe there was more saves. Because there was a lot of beating and banging throughout the field in all three series.
These cars last too long now. They don't get enough damage to them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. You know, we only have millions of dollars tied up in a race weekend. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway, so getting into the trucks, I gave myself a spoiler, Doug.
Okay.
Because, and I'm not giving it away, but I'm watching the race, and for now the second week in a row in the trucks, the 7 truck, right, with a Hendrick driver, and I'm like,
Hendrick paint scheme.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, what's the deal? Like, who owns it? And that's how I spoil it, all right. But Spire Motorsports, who, they've been flirting around in the upper leagues for a number of years now.
Yep.
And they've obviously, they have some form. I don't even think they have much of an alignment as much as Hendricks decided they all of a sudden, Doug, we want to get our drivers to run extra races on the weekends like Kyle Busch does. And Jeff Gordon and Chad Knaus went, we don't have a ladder system. We're Hendrick Motorsports. We only run on Sundays. Oops. Well, here's some sponsors, guys. Go find some rides. Here's a bunch of HendrickCars.com.
We'll get into it when we talk about what's coming up this weekend. There's a correlation between 3 teams.
Yes. So
we'll get into that later on.
Yeah, like I don't know if Spire was already getting motors from Hendrick, maybe, something like that, which is not surprising because let's be honest, there's only a handful of top engine area avenues. So we had, as Clint calls them, and I like it, Willie B behind the wheel of the 7 truck this weekend. And Clint and I have been kind of waving that flag. I can't believe I've been waving the flag of the 24 at all. But throughout the year, I've been like, that 24 is pretty good. It seems to be, I'm not saying he's the best driver for Hendrick, but he seems to have the best car on as often as not. So, and take that into, maybe one of his teammates is a better driver with a worse car and finishes ahead of him, but he seems to have the best car. And he has, who's his crew chief in Cup? Because he was hanging out on the box on Thursday night.
Well, his former truck series crew chief when he won all the races in the truck series, right. Rudy Fugel.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And Inspire has Bono Manion running that truck program, which, if you're going to have a revolving door of driver seats in that truck, you want to have a veteran crew chief that, hey, you don't have to run 36 races. How about running 26? Ooh, I like the sound of that. And we'll just put it, some people that know what they're doing and blah, blah. Oh, I like the sounds of that. So, and by the way, I want to shout out Charles 75N, Terry's 3Gs, and Michael Lepancy, all in the chat. And the mysterious 4th person. What's up, buddy?
I had mentioned to a couple of people that we could get into it, and they want to see that. So,
yeah. So, other than that, Johnny Sauter was running. It's funny, they keep plugging it. Johnny Sauter's running a part-time schedule, but it sounds like Johnny will run as many races as they'll let him It's just there's not a lot of room at the inn, and we don't have the money because nobody wants to sponsor your ass anymore. But hey,
which kind of comes into the talk that we had Thursday night. Yeah, after the truck race. Thursday night, as I was leaving work and we were talking because I knew who won and that. But
that was and other than Byron, like Kyle Busch was in the race.
Kyle Busch he had some issues.
Yeah, but it was a decent race. Overall, like I was entertained by modern race standards. It was. We call that quote unquote average NASCAR race, which can be a variety of things, but it could be a fuel mileage race, it could be whatever, but it was a race. I enjoyed it, and like I said, by all means, we're not Hendrick's Motorsports fans, but I enjoyed watching him drive that truck, and with Bono Mania, and it's nice because Bono hasn't really been out in the world in the better part of a decade.
No, once he was. Who was he with? He was with Busch, I think, when Busch went into the one car, or McMurray.
McMurray, yeah.
Once he went into the one car, then and Truex left, then that's when they kind of were like, "Oh yeah, we don't need you anymore." And in the Ganassi stable,
we have an engineer that can do your job.
Yeah,
and he went, "Okay,
yeah,
fine."
But my big thing after the race was how everyone was like in love and how happy they were that just lost his name. Him wins the race. Willie B. Byron wins the race.
William Byron.
Right? That how it's like it's so great that he won the race. Good to you on the race. And then some other people called it, well, he's a cup driver. We have seen all of you people say cup drivers shouldn't be in the truck races. They shouldn't be winning. They're taking wins away from the young kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in this big thing about returning to the truck series, he ran 1 year in trucks.
Yes.
And then moved on.
I forget who I heard talking about it today, how, and everyone knows who's already won all the races anyway, but, it's, he's been around a long time. He's 24 years old. He's been racing since he was 15.
Yeah.
He hasn't been racing 10 years.
No. The media and the teams knew about him since day one because he's a Charlotte boy.
Yep.
So no wonder he's on your radar.
He really
not be. He's
in
your backyard.
I don't even think he stepped into a real race car until he was 17. He raced for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Before he got into a real race car.
Yeah. So so Willie B wins the truck race, which takes us into the Xfinity race, which was rain delayed to start with. I enjoyed the brief start, the rain delay where they were talking with Dinger, because I love it when they talk to Dinger. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, it'd either be this or I'm hanging out with the cat in the motorhome. I'm like, man, I would not want to be stuck in a motorhome with a cat.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Especially when it starts raining and you get that nice noise. That cat's just, I don't want to be in here. Like, at all. Yeah. And he's got a dog in there, too. Well, of course, his cat's name is Mr. Tickles.
Yes. Yep.
And he says it with a straight face. And I heard Jamie Mack, a little micro snort, like, really, dude? Your cat's name is Mr. And it's not like he's at the track with the wife and the kids. It's him and the pets somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how that.
I don't think he has kids.
I think he does. I think he does now. I think.
Does he?
Maybe not. I don't know. Anywho's. And so they were talking about, which became a theme of the night, young Mr. Gibbs and a reputation he's gaining, and it being a short track race. We got to talk about, how he's wrecking people for wins and this and that. And AJ, like a veteran, just said, hey, it's like there's no gentleman drivers anymore out there type thing. Mm-hmm. And the same thing was said in the Cup race as well, I believe. But AJ just says, hey, I'll race him the way he races me. And that's the veteran attitude in many ways. You know, it's like Earnhardt didn't wreck everybody, but if you were, he'll definitely take out the guys that don't have a problem taking you out. You know, so. Who did we have in the booth for the Xfinity race? It was a good combo.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I want to say Chase Briscoe was in the booth, maybe?
I honestly can't remember.
Wow. Let me think. Austin Dillon was one.
Yes.
It was a good combo, though. Like, they worked well. Austin and whoever the hell it was.
Was it Blaney? Was it Blaney?
No, it wasn't Blaney.
Yeah.
Weird.
Can't remember now.
Yeah.
No. But it had...
It wasn't Logano again.
No. But again, people were like, just to get back on the race topic, was like, it wasn't a good race because it was, no cautions for wrecks. It was only cautions for
stages and Well, okay, there was lots of bumping and banging and saves.
There was one wreck in particular, though, that Mr. Mayer decided to take out the whole Junior Motorsports franchise.
Are you talking about the big one at the end of the race?
Well, no, I'm talking about the one where on that restart, where he spun the tires and Dinger got in the back of him, and then he T-boned.
Yeah, and then it just clogged that whole front straight. And they're like, and Junior was the first one. Whoa!
It's like, watching Junior on there, it's like everyone wrecked, everyone was stopped, and all of a sudden, like Junior's like slowly coming through everybody. It's like, okay,
easy.
He's like the old guy driving through everybody.
Yeah, looking over. Well, there's 50 grand. There's there's another 40 grand. Just look ahead. I'll talk to Kelly about it tomorrow. Yeah. And then of course, and then the last lap of the race, Mayer hits Gibbs.
Yeah, he found the hole.
In fairness, they were both running for that Dash for Cash deal. They were, let alone they were close to the win, but beyond that, and they end up taking each other out in the process. And Dinger went, all right, which I swear, a third of the Dash for Cashes that AJ Allmendinger's won has been like that.
Yep.
Hey, how'd you win the Dash for Cash? You tell me. You were in the booth looking at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so then we had post-race shenanigans, which penalties handed out in the last hour.
I was gonna say, I just got some breaking news.
I had the breaking news waiting for you to show up. I was like, oh, all right. So there was I didn't see the contact on pit road initially. I missed that part.
Yeah, I didn't see that there. They were banging. They were banging down the backstretch.
Yeah, and what I saw was Gibbs got out of his car first, came up to Mayer's car, and then Mayer got out, and the first physical contact was Gibbs with a bit of a shove.
Well, he went up to talk to him.
Yeah,
like he like as everyone does, just want to, like, hey, just want to talk. Just want to talk.
Yeah,
just want to talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, of course he did, because he had his helmet on the whole time.
Well, don't freaking worry about that. Like, we'll get it in a second.
One incident at a time.
They had their moment. They had their talk.
Yeah.
Right? And then it was done. It was done. Gibbs was walking away.
And then Mayer was clearly chirping of some kind.
And then Mayer calls him back. Right? And even I listened to a bit of the Door Bumper Clear guys, and they were talking about it as well. And they actually had Junior come on. And Junior's cool with everything.
Yeah.
He said there's going to be some classes start to happen at Junior Motorsports.
Yeah.
Right? But so
like I had forgotten, like, because we've been talking with Gibbs for years, coming up through the ranks of the short tracks and stuff. What I didn't know is Mayer was running second to him running first, or vice versa. And they had quite the rivalry. And apparently this is not the first time. Like, I don't know about any fists thrown previously, but they've had arguments previously. And
there's been a lot of arguing in the.
They do not like
in ARCA. No, not at all. Not at all. And Junior even kind of brought that up in the Door Bumper Clear when he was on there with them today. But yeah, You know,
who was it? It was Mike Joy in the booth that mentioned that, or not Mike Joy. It wouldn't have been Mike Joy.
Alexander. Yeah.
And he went, these guys have had quite a history in our archive. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, I did not know this. Like, let's ratchet up the old, And so, your wife is real because Mayor decided he wanted to scrap. So he started talking Gibbs into, you could hear him go, take off your helmet. And that's the last words he got out.
Yeah, well, and then I think here's where we differ.
Yes.
Because you said, Gibbs didn't take his helmet off. You can clearly see, and if you listen to Door Bumper Clear, Freddie Kraft agrees with me. Gibbs takes with his left hand. He goes like this. He goes like this. Because he's still wearing his Hans device. And if you've ever tried to take a helmet off with the Hans device still attached,
you can.
Good freaking luck being it easy. It's not easy.
You can tilt it up a bit and it'll come off. Plus, he's got a little head and not a lot of hair.
But he went for it. He went to detach it. And when he went to detach it, Mayor gave him that good shove. And that once you get that first good shove at you, it's on.
Well, that's true.
It's on.
It was funny. He led with a haymaker rather than a jab, I noticed. Usually you follow up with a haymaker. You lead with a jab.
I've been in enough hockey stuff to know, helmet on or not, if someone gives you that jab, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on. Right? And they were even saying, the bumper clip guys even saying, he got him good. Like, Junior even agreed.
Oh, yeah.
There is some self-defense classes starting to happen. Like, when you give him that shove, it's on. Like, you got to be ready for it. Helmet or not, it's coming.
And Mayor was not.
And it came.
I think Mayor was expecting a shoving match.
Yeah.
It's like brought a knife to a gunfight because he's expecting to get shoved back and then, they'll probably wrestle and people will get like, he was looking more for a wrestling match, which you would do with your little brother or something.
Yeah.
Not, no,
that's been building up for a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Gibbs got two in that were just haymaker.
And so as of an hour 2 hours ago now, as of 2 hours ago, Ty Gibbs has been fined $15,000 for contact on pit road of the cars.
Yep.
And they basically giggled at what was considered a fight. Because you guys are a couple kids that weigh 100 pounds. That wasn't a fight.
Yeah, well, one of them was in a fight. Because I
don't know if it's always the gas man that's always right there, but the guy who grabbed Gibbs with one arm and held him 2 feet off the ground, because I'm like, I've done that with my niece. I've seen you do that with Grayson when he was 6, but not with an adult man.
And then they went to the hauler, and from what I gather from Mayor's side of it, Gibbs was in the hauler first, and he says when he walked in, Gibbs was kind of sitting there with his head down, like he'd already had the talk from NASCAR, and they kind of did the gentlemanly thing, shook hands. We're gonna put this behind us until Saturday, and then it's on.
Yeah,
actually, they're not even racing this week. So they got like 2 weeks to think about it.
I thought they were running. Don't they run the dirt race?
Not this one, I don't believe. No.
Oh.
They didn't last year.
Oh, I thought they did.
Oh.
Stupid they don't. They should. Although I really am getting sick of this all 3 short tracks lumped in week after week after week.
Yeah.
Because really, the NASCAR teams are phoning it in, Doug, because we know the logistics, and they haven't driven more than 3 hours to a racetrack in
a
month. Now, granted, that's after weeks of doing, piggybacks and stuff out west. But
yeah, I'm just trying to check up the schedule here. Yeah, they're off week. Their next race is Talladega.
Okay, which I have news regarding that race.
Yep. So they went and they did their thing. They came out. They interviewed Mayor, and Mayor liked to usual guy who's lost the fight says he barely touched me. He didn't. He didn't really get anything in.
Kind of reminds you of the Kurt Busch press conference a few years ago when I didn't get any trouble and he's got the black eye. Or Jimmy Spencer.
There's some black right here, and your nose is kind of getting black there, Sam. Maybe Amir would be your very good friend right now to say, I'm saying the wrong thing.
Yeah. So,
right?
Yeah. So, yeah. So out of it, there was a fine, and we move on. Who won that race?
See, and that's the thing they're saying was it a good thing or a bad thing? Brandon Jones wins. Right. Another JGR
car. I made the comment because I'm watching. I'm seeing Brandon Jones win the race, and coach isn't even looking at it.
Yeah,
because he's looking down at the wreck down in 3 and 4 or whatever. Yeah. And then the shot in victory lane. They're moving the car, and he's just by himself walking around, just waiting to get it over with, and they're just like. You're kind of showing your bias there, Grandpa.
Well, I think he probably had his mind elsewhere to figure out what the heck's going on with his grandson.
Yeah.
Right? But you know what? I'm going to say
for energy drink, maybe. Maybe we'll limit. I know they're a sponsor, but limit it. He's only allowed so much.
I'm still going to say good on him because that's just a thing where, and Junior's, talking like listen to Junior talk about. He's like going down the backstretch when Gibbs first went after Mayo on the backstretch. He's like, he can't take it. He can't take it. Right? Was his first thing queuing in with I
was just during that race. I'm just thinking come down to it when what was it? I think it was Allmendinger got by Gibbs clean, and Gibbs immediately he wasn't even clear yet, and immediately you see him dive to try to smack him in the rear quarter. I'm like, really, kid? That's your first thing? Because that's showing me his go-to is to take somebody out as opposed to even try for a clean pass. And that was when he's under pressure. So he needs to work on that. Well, I think his grandfather will tell him, you were losing your cool out there.
Yeah. And even the spotter, when they were doing the stuff on the backstretch to pit road, even his spotter was like, don't do it. Don't you hollering at him not to do it. He knew what was coming. And I guess we also have to talk about the other part of that incident is that NASCAR officials, you're all overweight and out of shape. Do not try and get in the middle of something.
All they do is they look like Keystone Cops.
Just let them go. And if you're going to referee, if you're going to try and get into it with a fight like that, be like a hockey referee and just get in there once the punches are done.
Yeah.
Because we did have a NASCAR official who is now out for a couple weeks, taken by stretcher away from the scene because he broke his leg and he had to have surgery.
Well, Saturday night to repair these NASCAR officials, Doug? I know where they promote them from track security.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You started out working track security at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next thing you know, you got an official fire suit. Yeah. So, on to that. So, on to Saturday. I almost said on to Sunday, but
I said Saturday.
Again, weather delayed. They might want to rethink that. Literally, it's cold.
That was a big
rubber. It was barely above freezing.
So, let's sit there in the rain.
The garage area ran out of hot dogs.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
You can't.
Well,
Martinsville.
Obviously, one job. Too much rain.
Exactly.
Too much rain and cold, and people need to warm themselves somehow. Well,
yeah, because they were. Because Dinger, they talked to Dinger, and they're like, "Hey, there's a bunch of drivers eating hot dogs." He's like, "Are they stupid?" Because I don't want to eat a bunch of hot dogs and be cinching belts down, all bloated. No.
Yeah. So that was one thing. The one big thing is, people sitting out in the cold and in the rain, and then it got cold, and then it got windy, and then they weren't having fun.
No. And you know what? People were bitching about this race for an interesting stat, but I'm going to say it's a first because I thought it was an enjoyable race, and there was not a single pass for the lead on track.
I guess, you're right.
It was all pit road. somebody had tweeted that. I'm like, holy crap, that's right. Because they were like, oh, it was stupid, boring race. Wasn't even a pass for the lead on track. And I was like,
no, but
there was a lot of other passing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because, like, 3 of the top 6 started in the back.
Well, and we were having
there was no passing.
Very much like an IndyCar race. It was a lot of strategies involved. So, yeah, we didn't see a pass for the lead, but we were seeing a lot of catching for the lead, and then the leader would pit, and then it was a lot of leapfrogging and like, because I watched the IndyCar race yesterday, undercuts, as they call, you're in lap or out lap. Because NASCAR is getting such a close field. Guess what, folks? It comes down to every little bit.
Yep.
And who was it? Chase Elliott was having an issue for pit road speed because everyone was rear-ending him down pit road.
Yeah,
like the worst thing you could do was pit. Poor Kyle Busch stuck pitting behind Elliott, and you see him. He's just, come on, go. Yep. And Elliott's like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't find the thing. Well, if everyone's passing you, speed up. Speed up.
Yep.
Read attack. Oh, you don't know how to do that because you're a kid who grew up with video games.
Mm-hmm.
Read attack.
Yeah, and even, was it him that was in the lead and then Suarez kind of give him a little bit of a bump?
Yep.
As well, too?
Yeah, trying to get his lap back. No, he was 2 laps down, trying to get back to 1 at the end of the first stage. And the guys in the booth are like, I never would have thought, like, that was a brilliant attempt. And I was like, I like Suarez. Hey, Ben Tom.
Yep. My big thing was I got to watch the race next to a Chase Elliott fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How much did he cry during that race?
No, not much. We were up. We were up at the shop
first, and then,
we were up at the shop watching it, and
so and Willie B, with a good pit stop, somehow got the lead, and that kind of solidified him. Again, kind of keep an eye on him, and it was like, I think it was Boyer that noticed it. It was like the way he was coming out of the corner, he's able to hook it that extra 1/10 of a second, which means he could pull out like a car length below everybody. And it was good racing. The composite body, and we should mention, with the evolution of the car throughout the year, they were allowed, I can't remember the piece. It's not a torsion bar. It's not a track bar, because they don't have track bars anymore.
Yeah.
But it's to do with the rear end, to keep the wheel from turning in if they made contact with the outside wall.
Yeah.
Toe link.
Yes, that's it.
Because it's IndyCar vernacular.
Yeah, I know they were talking about one of the reasons why it wasn't.
It sounds like they're going to be able to run them. Like, you have the option of running the heavier one wherever you want, which, smart move anyway. Run the thin ones on the left. Run the thick ones on the right.
Well, and I know that one other thing they were talking about was that with the colder weather, there was no tire fall off.
Well, no, there was tire fall off, but the tire, it wasn't gripping to the track. They were running them down to the cords.
Yeah, well, that was the one. That was the one.
It wasn't huge because it's such a short lap, but it was a good 3-4 tenths.
Yeah,
which on a 22nd lap, because we noticed it a bit, but not a lot. What we did notice was going out of pit road on cold tires. A few people like, woo, like, and pulling right out into traffic, and you're like, holy crap, that guy's on cold tires. Which
or some guys going out of the pits with a flat tire. We won't even get into that.
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh. Although I think there might be a new crew chief for one of the teams, because I can't remember who it was, but he was complaining his car wasn't handling, and he's like, well, there's no panhard bar or wedge for me to adjust. What do you want me to do? Well, Mr. Crew Chief, it's still your job to figure out how to make the car handle.
Yeah.
What's up, Guitar Man 45?
Yeah.
6 people watching, Doug. Look out, we got 6-pack.
My thing was just, listening to people call in the last couple of days.
And you didn't call in yet, did you?
I didn't know.
You need to find out for me.
I really wanted to today, but some people are idiots, and I would have lost it on the radio and then been blocked from calling on the radio because
Well, we still need to find out why you can't put tape on the grill.
I you know what? I watched a video on that.
Did you?
Why?
I
can't remember. It's on Instagram.
Holy crap! We actually have 8 people watching. Nope. 7 people.
But yeah, but just people calling in.
For a second.
Like one guy called in today and was like, you know what? That's the worst I just wasted $700 for the weekend with hotels and stuff. He's like, I have season tickets to like 6 other races. I'm giving them away until they're able to fix this car because these races just suck because there's no wrecks or anything.
No, the cars he likes are wrecking. The ones he doesn't like aren't wrecking.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott seems to wreck his car almost every week.
Yeah.
But Kyle Busch seems to wreck his car almost every week.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, good run by Kurt Busch.
Yes.
Good run.
Well, even Austin Dillon was kind of running up there again.
He was doing well. Yep. Yeah. And other than that, it was slowly becoming the usual side. Harvick was doing okay. It was Harvick's crew chief, I think. That's who it was.
No,
yeah, he's got fired.
No, he's not. They're going to keep Rodney around.
Hey, fire him. I'd fire him. He doesn't know how to adjust the car. Fire him. He's no good.
When's
the last time Harvick won, Doug? When's the last time Harvick won a race?
He's fine.
Oh, and by the way, now Joey Logano is now at 37 races without a win.
Well, yes, and that was his one thing. Even he said, you could get up to the leader, but you couldn't make the pass.
Yeah, well, I call bullshit because they were running through lap traffic. It's possible. Rocks of Blues asks, who's my favorite driver? And Doug, I haven't had a favorite driver for a while, but you know what? I was thinking this weekend, I got a new favorite driver.
I'm scared to ask.
AJ Allmendinger.
Okay, yeah. But what about Cup? He's on Cup all the time.
He ran Cup. He ran the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah.
And he runs road courses. He runs Cup. It's like being a Cale Yarborough fan. He's part-time.
Yeah.
Charles says he won a race today to the refrigerator. Nice. Willie B wins the Cup race.
First 2-time winner.
2-time winner. Who had that on their NASCAR bingo card? Because I didn't. Although I had a feeling, but I didn't think he'd be the first multi-winner. I was thinking Ryan Blaney would be the first multi-winner this year.
Yeah. And I do have to say, I have to admit it, I was cheering a bit for Joey Logano as he was going around, trying to get around Chase Elliott.
I get it. Yes, IROC, Doug is a Truex fan.
Yes. Not sure how you can tell.
Yeah. So, so Willie B wins the race. His parents were there, which was nice.
Yep.
They had that whole feel-good story, which, and of course, Chad Knaus, at least Chad doesn't hide his bias like Jeff Gordon, Jeff would be like, oh, I'm just a commentator. Whatever, you're running Hendrick, you dink. We know you are. Yeah. At least Chad's upfront about it.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's like they're bringing in him as an upper management guest analysis from the company. So, which is good because he was very open about the way their programs are running. Like he was saying, we try to do blah, blah, and he goes into that politician speak.
Yep.
Which I'm okay with because that's big picture shit. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we encourage. Yeah. Why is that? Because you realized Larson was winning everything under the moon by having that clause in his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
News going into Bristol, speaking of Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott's going to be running the 7 truck.
Yep.
It's his turn.
Mm-hmm.
The only guy who hasn't run the truck is Larson.
Well, he ran last year, but
yeah.
And
he'll probably run it again this year.
Yeah,
and that makes sense because Chase Elliott has been running a fair amount of dirt, and he's trying to get as many laps under. I'm curious how is this new air system going to work on the Cup cars on dirt?
Yeah.
Because we saw what happened with a little bit of sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those were essentially closed off last year, and now maybe they'll take out the ductwork under the hood and just open it up. That's what I would do.
What I'm surprised for this weekend is that there's only 36 cars entered for the Cup race.
That is interesting. On the other hand, maybe guys like Gaunt Brothers, they're like, hey, you got a car? Do you want? No, I'm not. No, you're not taking my car out there. You're going to wreck it.
Yeah, so some of the drivers that are eligible that are racing is JJ Yaley in the 15.
Mm-hmm.
He's got dirt experience.
Yep.
Noah Gregson in the 16.
In Cup?
In Cup.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Because that's one of his races to do. Josh Williams will be in the 78.
Oh, cool.
And how I said there's that remember we talked about Spire Motorsports with the Alliance?
Yep.
With Hendrick?
Yep.
Justin Allgaier will be in the 77. Because there's that other Xfinity team.
Yeah, the non-Hendrick Motorsports.
Yep.
So, who do you like for the Cup race?
I think it's.
You know what's weird? The weird part is the dirt favorites aren't usually the favorites. Like your Kyle Larson or your Chase Briscoe, they didn't actually do that well last year.
No, it was Logano that won that.
Yeah.
Right?
And Truex was doing great too after doing well in the truck race.
I was gonna say,
and the two of them were like, I don't know what I'm doing.
This guy, right? You got a little bit of it, that's it, But I look for Truex to bounce back because he had a good race. Like I know Logano won it, but I think Truex had a good race.
Come out of retirement for a weekend. Smoke should be running this weekend.
Yes. SHR should have that fifth car. But
why not?
You got the other guys who have the dirt experience, being the Dillon boys.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But
I don't know. I'm almost thinking your boy Truex for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think he's due for some luck.
Yeah.
You can run a lower tire pressure on dirt, Doug.
Yep. And so this year they're running it at night. Both races will be run at night.
Yeah. So the track won't dry out so fast.
Oh yeah,
and water after the stages last year.
Well, and they're saying that'll cut down on all the dust that'll be up. Well, I'm thinking the difference between Bristol and a regular dirt track is that in a dirt track, that dust they kick up has somewhere to go.
And wind.
Yes.
Yeah. You built up a coliseum, walls all around it, so it's just going to hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So, all right. On that, a new piece of news for the next Xfinity race I teased on earlier. For the Xfinity race at Talladega, we are going to see an Earnhardt behind the wheel of the number 3.
Yes.
Jeffrey Earnhardt.
I was just happening to read that there, yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Why
not?
I can ask you, what does it feel like to run into him?
Pretty soft. Short.
I
don't know. I think he headbutted my shoulder. Charles says dirt track at night, no bueno. It's better than a dirt track race during the day.
Yes.
In my opinion. The track doesn't lose moisture as quickly at night. Especially when you got the dew falling. That's awesome. When you time the race night just right, Doug, like I remember the amount of times with Bright Speedway, the dew would fall like during the intermission.
Mm-hmm.
So literally it was just that little on the track. And it was just awesome. So do we have anything else to discuss?
I had found out some rumors on the weekend for the NASCAR Pinty Series.
Which became fact
right before this year.
No, amazing when you hang out with a team member for one of the teams.
They had a TBA on the schedule, and
Right.
So that has now become June 25th. They're headed to Eastbound International Speedway. I'm thinking, where is that? That is in the province of Newfoundland. Pinty Series will be going to
I
Newfoundland.
didn't even know they had a track in Newfoundland.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, and it's.
Yeah. I love the international. Really, international.
Yes.
What,
well,
you had an American race there once? Like.
So the big thing for them was they've been trying for a while to get a race there. The hard part is, as everyone knows, is how to get all the cars to Newfoundland. The only way to go is a ferry, and that was I think it was $8,000. I'm not sure if it was up per team or if it was for the whole series to go.
Well, let's be honest, I think it's some stat like when you're in Newfoundland, you're actually closer to Ireland than you are to Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a trek.
Yeah. So they're all excited there. I know that starts coming up soon. Sunset Speedway May 14th.
Hungover crew members during that race.
Oh, very much so. Oh God. Yep. I'm not sure. I think we should try and get to one this year.
Well, if it's a day trip, I can do it. Like, are they running Kawartha?
I'm not sure. They're at CTMP a bunch.
Yeah, that's on the road course. I'm been there, done
that. They're back to Quebec. They are running the road course at Exhibition Place on Molson Indy weekend.
Even less sight lines.
They're in Saskatoon a couple times. They're back at CTMP in September.
Which they don't even use the oval track anymore.
I think the one that I may go to is closer to me is the August 16th. I'm going to see about Oswego Speedway. They're on the dirt.
Oh, cool. Oswego. I like that.
Which I know when they were trying to get there right as COVID 2020, Kenny Wallace was going to come up and run that there, but I know he's now retired, semi-retired. So I'm not sure. Maybe Schrader will come up and run the Pinty Series.
That'd be cool. He's run before and regretted it.
Which I do know that. Well, the thing is, I want to get to Oswego for us because they've made a bunch of changes.
Right
there. They've put in new
shoot some video while you're there.
Maybe they've
free up some space on your new phone.
Yes, I know. You get along well with the owner of Oswego, but
yeah,
I guess he's built a new pool and pool house that overlook the track. Oh. They've put in new suites as well, where you actually drive in, you park under the suite, go up the stairs, and you're right there with a fridge.
Cool.
Whole full kitchen in each suite, which is
nice.
Pretty cool. So
cool. Well, there we are. So on that note, that's Doug. I'm Ben. This has been NasCanucks. Good crowd tonight. That was awesome. Yep. And we'll be back next week, same time.
Next week, same time. Yes.
Okay. 8:30.
Yes. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. So,
I was ready.
It's the person upstairs.
Yeah. You got to use a little more. Feed her the onions a little more.
I tried.
Use all the RPMs.
Yes.
Remember when they used to do those plug checks at 6:30 a.m.?
Yeah.
Kind of miss those days. Stupid lack of open practice anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like getting woken up to a motor turning $9,000.
Yeah.
I'm awake.
Yep.
And it's only one team too that does it first thing. And it's like all right.
Yep.
Fire it up. Because you don't need to do a plug check at 6:30 in the morning.
No. But you just do it.
I just remember you going, what the fuck? I'm like, plug checks.
Yeah.
You're like, why? I'm like, no sane reason. Other than they know people think it sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's it. So, and I guess speedy recovery to Jimmy Johnson. Broke his hand.
Yes, the wrist injury.
Yeah, I saw it, and because those wheels get yanked out of your hand.
Oh yeah.
It didn't. It yanked his hand with it, and
he didn't do the Danica.
He didn't even get a chance to take his hands off the wheel. That was the problem. So yeah, but he raced with a fractured hand. So at Long Beach. So yeah. So there we go. Newgarden won back-to-back wins this year for Joseph Newgarden. There you go. Penske won a race. Imagine that in IndyCar. Ganassi was not.
And the other thing is, we'll talk about it in another show later on. Look for me on ESPN in a couple weeks. ESPN 3. But that's all we'll say about that right now.
Race. Yeah, I may have leaked something to that effect on my other channel.
Yeah. So I haven't said anything in the other one, but
Yeah, well, I didn't say anything officially. I said, if you might be in the U.S. and you might be watching a sports station, you might see that. Yeah. You might.
Could be Clint Boyer type stuff. I don't know.
Good.
See you, Marcus.